So underneath of this fireplace is the penny hearth, which is one of my favorite parts of this build, but I never put an epoxy layer over it like you see in all the images online. And that is because I didn't like the way it looked in the pictures. And it was just sort of glossy and I thought it would look bad. So I didn't do that, and what happened was the pennies came up by the dozens. It looked really bad. A lot of them kind of got dulled and dust kind of settled on them, that kind of thing. And even when they were cleaned, they had a dull look. So this hasn't been a pressing thing, but it's something that I've wanted to fix for a while because it just looks so much better. And when people come in and look at it, it's one of the first things that people talk about or notice. So I really want it to look good. So I went ahead and I re-glued down all of all the pennies that had come up, and then it became very clear that I needed to epoxy it. So I bought some epoxy, which comes in two parts, and you mix it together, and then you pour it out over the surface, and it looks so much better with it. I really regret not doing this right away because doing it this way, some of the pennies are a little bit like they're not all lying flat. There's some inclusions and stuff that I missed when cleaning it, and it's not perfect, but it looks a whole lot better. Now, I wasn't able to actually get the whole surface. There wasn't enough epoxy, so some of the pennies actually underneath the wood stove are just the way that they were before, and you can see what a big difference that makes when you look at the two of them, which I think is kind of cool. It took about 3-4 days for the epoxy to fully cure, and in that time it was really like spongy and sort of sticky. So I thought for a while that maybe it hadn't worked because it's very cold. It's not really room temperature in here at any time. So I thought maybe the conditions have been too cold for it, but it worked out really well. So this is just a really small thing that I've done to help improve the build here. The epoxy is heat resistant, so that is good. It is fine to be underneath the wood stove, although it doesn't really get very hot underneath the wood stove so much as above it, right? Because heat rises. Well, that's all for today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, folks.